We're
happening.
We're live.
We're live.
Whew.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
This is the 5 mark live. I mean,
Yeah,
the
5.5 months. 5.5 months.
Yep, 5.5
live.
months live. So this is our 4th YouTube live, is it? And we've actually we did a live on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
And we're here.
Mm.
And what's special about this live in particular is that we have residency cards.
We do.
So we're no longer tourists. Cheers.
Cheers. We've done it.
We've done it.
We've done the first day, first year. So
yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So it's a big step.
So, and the other big step, I think, is our YouTube channel. We've now got we're 3/4 of the way there to get to, or as in with subscribers, and then we've just hit the 50% mark of the people watching our videos to then be able to monetize it. So that's pretty cool as well. It's quite exciting.
It's impressive watching our audience grow.
And so we so appreciate everybody who does watch and comment and
And the Twitter channel, we've hit 2,000 subscribers as well, which it's a lot of people, which is pretty cool. And we appreciate everyone who's come on. We get so many questions, so much interaction. There's a huge amount of support from Salvadorans, which is awesome. We really appreciate that. And a lot of questions from people who want to come along. And we think that's awesome too.
Yeah. And I think bringing that up is the fact that, we have so many people asking us questions about what it's like to be here. What have we done? How do we do this, that, next thing? And it's so nice to be able to help people, because the more people who move here and come to El Salvador, then the more that what Bukele has put in place is going to work. So, we really encourage people who are just sitting on the fence going, should we do it? Should we not? It's a great place. I mean, there has these challenges, but it's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a theme that we want to move forward with, which is we want for this experiment, all right, let me rephrase it. If we didn't have a country that had adopted Bitcoin, a lot of people would be like, hey, I'll wait until a country adopts Bitcoin before I take it seriously. Well, that moment is here. There's a country that's actually gone and put it in as a legal tender. It's a currency, and it's here. And we've moved here because we want to see this experiment work. And there's a lot of other people who have uprooted their lives and come here because they also want to see this experiment work, which is really impressive. Everything from young people, older people, single people, families.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it is really cool.
It's cool.
Sorry, it's not the table. But really exciting to see how many the vastness of different people.
Yeah.
But we all are very common in being uncommon, if that makes sense. We are very similar in our mindsets and in the way we want to live our lives and our well-being, mentally, physically, emotionally. It's really cool. Yeah, it's really neat. And to sort of all of a sudden have a whole lot of different people from all over the world who kind of think the same it's neat.
It is. Yeah. And the networking that's happening, we're getting out a little bit more now that we're settled, meeting other people, talking to other people, meeting people that have followed us on Twitter, and they're like, we're coming to El Salvador, and then they turn up. And it's funny, we've got people booked in for this weekend.
Yep.
Canadians coming in this weekend.
We're seeing some French tomorrow.
Yes, French. So we've got French, Canadian, and next weekend, Texans. So we're going to meet with you all. But it's cool. It's very cool. We just had some neighbors move in who are a very international family, and they came down from Florida. They're in our complex. This is amazing. It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic of greeting people from around the world, greetings to Alberto from Boston, Massachusetts. Yes. That's awesome. Thank you.
No, and thank you for liking our comment. Our content. Sorry, it's really cool. Okay, so one of the things we sort of put on here about talking about what we want to talk about today is, I suppose the first thing we'll talk about is the fact that we've got our 1-year residence and visa and the process that we went through to get that.
Yes.
Yeah. Where do we start?
Yeah, where do you start? It depends on your situation to start with. So family situation, life situation, business situation, and goals.
Yep.
All of those are going to have an effect. Then there's a number of different people who are offering services, and there's all sorts of different price points, personalities, and perspectives and abilities to do it. So there's no one easy answer to this. But the best thing to do is to make a short list of what you want to achieve, your situation and what you would like to achieve.
Yeah.
You don't have, and what's crazy is you don't have to live here. You don't actually really need a visa. In New Zealand, you need a visa because you can only spend 6 months out of every 12 in the country. Here, there are people who have been here for 7 or 10 years who leave every 3 months and come back.
Yeah.
And you have to fly out of what's known as the C4, the Central 4. So as long as you fly out and come back in, same day for some people, you can stay here indefinitely.
Yeah,
so,
which is great.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do. But for us, we really wanted to set up a base and set up a home and not have to worry about going back and forth. So yeah, it was important for us to, we really, we're sort of gone, right, this is what we're doing, and we want to we want to make that work.
Yes.
So yeah,
so
it's really big.
And the point of that is there's everything from being a perpetual tourist to being here long term.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can be here long term as just someone who wants to live here, and you can be here long term as someone who actually wants to set up a business. The business is not necessary.
No.
You can come here as an independent contractor and get a visa that way.
Yeah, so absolutely. So, when it comes to sort of getting your visa, we had, we did do it in the way of setting up a business first. And so we've gone down that track. And I think the one of the bigger reasons for that, or the easiest way, is James gets paid. He has contract work. We have rental property in New Zealand. So we can sort of build all that into it as a form of a business and setting up a business that way. And so to do that, we needed a lawyer to help us set that up. We needed an accountant to do that, and the cost varied. And then once we had got our business set up, we were then able to apply for residency under the business company. And
the main advantage of that for us was it took potential residency or citizenship, I guess, down from 5 years to 3 years.
Yeah.
A couple of shout outs. Julio, hi guys, I see you are having a wonderful time in El Salvador. I was able to see a video with you in El Playa El Tunco. Was that the El Tuna interview?
Yeah.
So we've got Artuna. We've got 2 interviews now, one with a New Zealand podcast and one with a local podcast. We highly recommend them, but I mean, we might be biased.
It was really fun. It was really amazing doing that. Both interviews. Yeah. One, of course, was a New Zealand guy that contacted us, and he was sitting with actually an ex-client or a client of mine, and so it was. And he was sort of talking about his life in Bitcoin, and the mutual friend sort of said, I know if a couple have taken off and gone to El Salvador, and he was like, wow. And so they're bitcoinbasics.help, and it's Faris and Gordon, and they're really cool. They've they've started up these podcasts, and they're talking a lot about Bitcoin, and it was really neat to sort of talk about local, New Zealanders and what we've done and what we're doing. And then Caesar from Atuna was he was great because he speaks not English. As much basic English as our basic Spanish.
Enough for us to understand.
But it was really wonderfully done. He had written all the questions out for us, and it was really neat being able to talk about how we, our journey we have made and coming over, which was really, really cool. Yeah. So
it was very cool. I highly recommend watching them.
Yeah.
And then Esmeralda, hi. Greetings from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Awesome. Hello.
Yeah.
More South Americans. That's awesome. Yeah. Francesco, I see you've popped in there. Hello.
and then
Loop Garu. Hello from Canada. Yes, more Canadians.
So that's really good.
Yep.
Hello, Nicki and James. You guys get the Salvadorian citizenship. Will you vote for Bukele next election? Well, as with El Salvador and the rules here, Bukele is supposed to be only up for election once. After that, he is meant to, he can't put himself in there to be voted, but rules can change and things can change. Absolutely, we need to make sure that it's either Bukele or someone with the same mindset
The reason
coming on board.
Yeah, one of the main reasons we're here is Bitcoin. So if whoever the leader if Bukele doesn't continue with the Bitcoin thing, or the next leader doesn't continue with the Bitcoin thing, that would influence our decisions more than anything.
Yeah.
Regardless of who's in power, we're here for the experiment of Bitcoin and our freedoms and our personal choices to do certain things. So yeah, that would influence our decision more than anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So,
and our safety.
Safety is big.
And that's a hot topic with El Salvador, with its history and everything like that.
Yeah.
But we won't touch on that just yet.
No.
Edmel, hello from Houston. Just came back from El Salvador last week. Awesome.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And please, if you've got any questions in regards to residency now, put them up so we can answer anything that you may have in regards to the process that we've gone through. I mean, all up, the residency didn't take that long to do. It was really interesting because we used a lawyer to do it. They, there was all these documents we had to fill in, and they then took that big pile of documents and they went to the immigration office. One of the girls did, and she spent one full day waiting to be able to submit those documents. Yep. So it's really interesting. It's sort of, El Salvador seems to be very labor intensive. Like, you find that there is a lot of people, and I suppose it's because labor is cheap, but there is a lot of time.
It's old systems.
Yeah. So I was going time wasting, but it keeps everybody.
Yeah.
It keeps everybody in a job. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And so we then had to go back the following week, and so everything had already been submitted for us. We went back the following week. We'd already paid the lawyer all the money, and so they then gave us cash, and it was $140 each to submit for the residency.
Mm-hmm.
And so we then had to pay that, and we got a ticket, and we went into another room, and there was all these chairs lined up, and we had to wait for a customer service agent to sit and talk to us. We were really lucky. We got there, and pretty much straight away we each went to our own separate little cubicle. But being non-Spanish speakers and having a New Zealand, applying for this residency, they sort of looked at it and looked at each other and sort of then put it down and told us to pretty much sit back down again.
Told us to go away. It was the reason being is most likely because it was too hard. So we didn't speak a lot of Spanish. Well, we don't speak a lot of Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was like, oh, okay. So we sort of sat down. And remember, if you ever go into any of these offices, they're all air conditioning and it's freezing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really important to take a top
jersey.
because we're just not, we go in and just like wearing this, and then within 10 minutes, we're just going, well, this is really cold. And then we've got to wait for it. But anyway, so what happened then was finally they got James, they found an English speaker. And so James went back to his cubicle, and there was a girl behind the girl doing all the paperwork, and he was sort of sped along, and it went quite quick for James. I obviously I think got the trainee, and so I then sat in front of this trainee, and I don't know how long I had to sit there. No. And I was going, what is he doing? He had all this paperwork, and it was like he was slowly just filling in. So he had documents and he was filling in, didn't ask me any questions, didn't ask me anything. The one question we both got was, what was our mother's maiden name? And so we had to answer that. We couldn't offer any other information. And we waited, and then finally it got through. And what happens, they then take a picture of us and all our fingerprints. And then we then have to pass on and go, and that's when we pay. Sorry. We then went and paid, and then that was it. But it did take us, we were thinking it was going to be really quick.
Yeah. We were under the impression from the lawyer that it would be really quick. We were 3 hours maybe.
Yeah.
I think.
Sitting around.
Yeah. So hi Ryan. I may know which Ryan this is. Great question. About, did you handle the residency permits yourselves, or did you get legal advice?
Yep.
So we used a private lawyer he's done plenty of immigration bits and pieces. And
he's bilingual, which is wonderful. He speaks English as well as Spanish.
Yes, he's a bilingual speaker. He's very good.
Yeah.
we would recommend paying to have somebody do it for you, because personally, I don't want to spend the time. If you're time rich and you can spend the time trying to figure it out, by all means, go for it. There's documentation online to help you out. But I mean, personally, I was quite happy to pay the fees that we paid.
Yeah.
Relative to what I probably would have paid in New Zealand, it's not that bad. And
especially when you think that, you know, we had one girl had to actually stay all day
in the office
in this office,
line.
which was
Yep.
You know, she took her lunch. Yeah, she took her lunch.
Yeah,
and it was just like, wow, she's gone, and she's gone for the day.
Yeah.
It was really crazy.
But again, it comes down to everyone's personal preferences to their time preference, their money preference, and their where they want to do it.
Yeah. And Ryan, no, we didn't go through Jeremy. We had our own contacts that we used through.
Artiga Legal, who Carlos is amazing. We've had a great experience with him, but what a lot of it comes down to is your personal situation. So make a list of your personal situation and the goals that you want to achieve, and then you need to meet with several people and make sure that the cost, the personalities, and your objectives are going to be met, because some people are going to have different experiences which may get you through the system based on your situation opposed to their experience. And Carlos is great, and we had a great experience, but we've also heard things from other people where it's like, oh man, that was smart. That was really interesting.
So it's done differently.
Yep. So Ryan, once this is finished, go back and start again, because there's a couple of little bits in there where I talk about personal preference to get this done.
Yeah. And Eddie, yes, we are enjoying the Pilsner. Thank you.
I've actually got a Regia.
I have a Pilsner.
And Nicki has the Pilsner.
That's
good. Thank you. Cheers. Salud.
Yes. Salud. So the last 6 weeks, what have we been doing? So we did mention about the 2 podcasts earlier. Again, they were great to get involved in and to, just tell our story. It was really nice to be able to do that, and both to in our Salvadorian, should I say, and as well as the Kiwi Australian mix there, which was really neat. Things we're also up to at the moment is we're really getting back into the dance, which is great. We've got a class every Thursday night down in El Zonte, and then James has found his BJJ. Also ABJJ down in El Zonte as well at the Pura Surf, which is brilliant. So we're both sort of able to get back into doing some of the things that we love doing and we weren't able to do in New Zealand due to the mandates, etc. So that's been great.
I'm just going to touch on that. So this is one thing that we've chosen to live by the beach because it's an awesome lifestyle. We're close to the Mecca, which is Bitcoin Beach. It's ground zero. We like the lifestyle of the beach. But just to be clear, like if you're a city person, you need to probably want to live in San Salvador, because one thing, like we love dance and BJJ, and if we lived in San Salvador, we could do it multiple times per day. But down here, the time and fuel costs to drive back up to San Salvador is not worth it. No. And unfortunately, there's not a service down here. Like I can only do BJJ one time per week down here.
And we can only dance one time per week as
well. With a professional. So that's just a lifestyle choice for people. If you want to, if you want to really push your hobbies, San Salvador is great. It's got plenty of services and variety. It's there.
We just love the beach. And it just seems up in the city, you are in a lot smaller spaces, and look behind us. This is what we've got here, and it's just amazing. We're sitting up on our balcony this morning, and we were watching all these parrots and just the noise they were making, and it was just really cool. And we've always got the local squirrels that are coming around and doing that sort of thing as well, which is really neat.
So I noticed Oscar, I didn't miss you. Greetings, thank you. We do love the people of El Salvador. The Salvadorans are so friendly and helpful. Like we've had so much help from people, and they've been so friendly.
You can't fault the people here at all. They're just beautiful. So no, they are. They're really lovely.
Julio, okay, guys, I started with crypto last year, so I never have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin when it was affordable. So my question is, what would you subject to people in regards to Bitcoin? Thank you. I follow a very basic investment philosophy, which is dollar cost average for a number of reasons. One, it's affordable. So generally, we should be saving 10 to 20% of our paychecks as much as we can. So each week, just buy Bitcoin with your paycheck.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the price, and over the long term, you will be fine.
Yeah.
Right now, I would say 20K is a nice price. Don't be surprised if it goes lower. Long term, I'm bullish, but that's because I believe in the project and where it's going.
Yeah, and I suppose you've got to look at it like James has been in Bitcoin for quite a number of years. And regards to me, I'm very new in buying, and so I bought high. You know, when I started buying, I was buying at 69,000. So
It's a good number.
Yeah, everything I bought was no. So I'm really pleased that it's coming down because my dollar cost average is getting a little bit lower now, which is really cool. But
and that's just the game.
It's what it
It's
is, and I'm not prepared to sell it. I'm not selling it. I'm just, I'm just buying when I can, and that's what I'm doing. So
I'm not in this for a get rich quick scheme. I'm not in that. I don't buy into it that it's a Ponzi. Like, I honestly believe that this is a unique digital asset that has huge potential for global change. But what it needs, and this is coming back to how we started this video call, is we need people here. Like, if you believe in what Bitcoin stands for, like the moral and the all the ethics, come be part of this experiment in the world, because El Salvador doesn't need us. It's not important. I mean, El Salvador loves having us here to spend money and bring income and do things like that. But at the end of the day, it's Bitcoin that needs us. Yeah. Bitcoin needs us as Bitcoiners to be here, to do this, to have a mission. And sorry, I know you want to say something, but we met these 3 Dutch people that have come here, and they are so enthusiastic about it. And they also believe this, to be here for the right reason, to see this happen. And like, we've got other people that we've met here who are like, we just need more people to be here to live the experiment. Because if we honestly believe that Bitcoin can do great in the world, this is the time
and the time to be. Yeah.
And every dollar you spend, every hour you spend, every what's the other one I want to say? Oh, where you live, they are votes. It's a vote. That is the most powerful vote. Going to the booth and voting for a government is it's a game, but it's not necessarily a powerful game because it's rigged at one end. That's obviously my opinion. But with money, where you spend your money is way more powerful than who you vote for every 4 years. Yeah, every dollar you spend is powerful. Yeah. Anyways, my rant. James's rant. Let's move on.
Something that came up the other day when our live didn't work, we both were I'd actually got out of bed to do it because I'm sick, and I ended up being sick for about a week and a half. And it was really interesting because quite often people go, oh, what do you miss about New Zealand? And it wasn't until I was actually quite ill that all of a sudden I felt quite homesick, and I was looking at Facebook and all those things, and my friends were, and now somewhere we're from in winter, we have these most amazing still calm days, and I love being on the water. I love being on my paddleboard, and I was just looking at these still flat water days of going, oh my God, I miss being on this flat water. And it was quite emotional for me, because we go to the beach here and you can't, I can't get out on the toys that I'd love to get out on, and maybe I can learn to surf. You're getting to that stage where I'm going, I don't want to get hurt. But, so I was sort of thinking of all these things that I do miss. And it was a really interesting time, I think, for us both, because a week and a half of me not being able, because I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Poor James was
but Nicki's massive to our operation. I appreciate everything she does and brings to our partnership and relationship and everything. It's huge.
So it was quite interesting. And one of the things is, because I had this flu virus for, at the time, all of a sudden I started panicking about, oh my God, we don't have a doctor here. And James was sending him out, and I go, I need Ginger. And it was so hilarious. I said, I need some ginger because I need to make
Onions.
myself a drink. He went to the Mercado especially to buy ginger and somehow left it behind. And so we went the next day
Well, no,
to
I
go and
didn't
pick it up.
somehow leave it behind. Sometimes the vendors, they bag everything individually and then they group it at the end and give it to you. And sometimes they miss those, like they'll put the things down, but they'll forget to give them to you. It's just, it's common.
Yeah,
It's not the first time. It's not a James
no,
thing.
No.
The second time was a James thing.
And so then he had to go back because they contacted him. They sent him a text and said, hey, look, you know. And so he went back the next morning and went to pick it up, got it. And then he decided he wanted some pupusas.
I thought, let's get pupusas for breakfast because they were piping hot fresh on the side of the road. Let's do this.
And he left the ginger behind. And it was like going, I didn't go back. And I was going, okay. And I was like, that's right, we can do this because I'm going to get better now. I'm going to, you know. And of course, you know, by the in fact, it was, Thursday. So took, or Wednesday, I can't remember, it might be Wednesday. Yeah, so it was quite a few more days, and I still was really not well. And I woke up and I was just like nearly in tears. I was just really, and I just said, I need that ginger. So James had to go back to the Mercado.
It was good though. Like I bought a lot of ginger.
And we've made some amazing tinctures now. So we've fermented some ginger and lemon and honey and turmeric. And we're fermenting this syrup to, you know, just have. But one of the things I think sort of going down that story was very much the things that you have at home all of a sudden aren't as accessible to you here than what you would, you know, normally do. And I think it's all in perspective and getting used to. But when you're down and not feeling well, it seems to multiply and seem to be a lot bigger than what it is. But,
a lot of the things are here, but we've got to learn where they are and get to them. Like it's not convenient sometimes. And that was part of it. It's not like, you got to remember, we've only been in this country for 5 months and we've started with 4 suitcases of basically clothes. So
I had 1 clothes.
And you had 2 others of other stuff, 2.5. Anyway, so we've bought things like we bought a desk, we bought mosquito nets, we bought some pots and pans, and we bought more.
Just a juicer or we need smoothies. It's just like
so we've literally started again with everything that we took for granted and was normal in New Zealand.
So
it's a process, and that's something, and it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's good to declutter and start again with what you really need.
And I think one of those things there was very much you sort of, with me being sick and stuff, it's like I think you had that issue, or that not issue, but you had that sort of thought process coming up of going, what have I done? Have we done the right thing?
If you want to get real for a moment, so seeing Nicki down so much, I felt guilty with this whole experiment that we've gone on, because it's like, what have I done? I bought this wonderful woman that I love to this country, and now she's sick, and I can see the pain, and emotional pain, not physical pain, and it's like, shit, like, what am I going to do? But it was a good reflection point for both of us, because we talked about that, and now that we're both feeling better and on top of it again.
I now make sure I go to the beach every morning and I walk the beach, and it's just so soul for me. It's just like going, okay, it's not flat water, but it's pretty stunning, and I'm just like, this is okay. I'm happy now, So,
And then last night we went dancing, and we had dinner with 2 lovely ladies who've come here on their own to El Salvador. They've left their families behind and everything, and meeting those people and realizing that you have so much in common and that you can build these awesome relationships with them. It reminds you of why we're here. And we're here because there's something bigger than us, and we're here to be part of it.
And seriously, the climate's amazing. It's 31 degrees averaging at the moment, and it's just gorgeous. I just like being working up in the office. It's a little bit hard, but it's just it's nice.
So Alberto, hello again, asking us about going to Santa Ana volcano.
Guess what we're doing next week? I'm so excited. We're going to go and stay at Camp Campbell for a night, and we're going to go up to the crater, and I'm really excited about going up and having a look. there. I know there is the lake there, the Flatwater Lake as well. I don't think we're going to have time to take my wingboard up and go up there. We could throw it in and just see, but once we've walked the volcano, the next day I might be feeling a little bit sore. But yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to going and exploring that area. It's going to be cool.
Maybe get some mountain coffee. Bertha, thank you. Appreciate everybody's support, yours and everyone's. Ryan, yes. Okay, so
Ryan's asking, how are we finding adjusting to the heat, as it is imposing as when you first arrived?
So just so you know, when we arrived, it was the middle of summer, and that was intense.
It was intense.
Especially, we were coming from summer as well.
Yeah, and we're also in a place where we couldn't open. Where we were living at that point in time, we couldn't open our doors because of the bugs. There was no fly screens. There was also no airflow. There was
no air conditioning, no fans.
One fan, and there were air conditionings, but we don't really like the air conditioning. We love the fan. Whereas there wasn't
any air conditioning in our. Oh no, I was thinking of San Salvador. When we arrived in San Salvador, no air conditioning. No. There was a standing fan, which made a hell of a racket, so we didn't leave it on.
And we were only there for a week and a half.
No bug screens. So the place was filling with mosquitoes at night.
Oh my god!
We had a great experience when we arrived.
Yeah,
one to remember. But so Ryan, basically, when you're if you come this time of year, it's really comfortable. I mean, you're coming from Canada, which is like Iceland, but
no, it's not. It's the summer now. They'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Anyway, just stay hydrated. And something that if you check our socials, we've started playing with electrolyte water.
Yep.
So we drink coconut water every morning. Plus, we are now developing our own electrolyte drink for the afternoon to keep us boosted because we were having big energy dumps during the day.
Yeah. And the place we're in now, we've got fly screens everywhere. We've got fans. It's really lovely. And you can just, you've got the airflow flowing through now, and which is great. So we're really enjoying where we are, what we've got.
Yep. Yeah. Once you become established, looking for places that have bug screens, good airflow, fans, air conditioning, depending on your lifestyle choices, they're really important things to keep an eye out on. Ed, good to know that the restaurant is wonderful, but they don't take Bitcoin payment. This is the best time to be taking Bitcoin payment. So last night, one of the restaurant that we normally go to for the dance, they normally take Bitcoin payment, but they've stopped. And it's like, this is the best time to take Bitcoin payments because you get twice as much Bitcoin. I'll try and rail on them. Julio, okay, every Friday you guys need to come out with the phrase or sentence in Spanish to learn Espanol. Yes, you're right. Thank you. Our Spanish has gotten a bit slack lately, which is naughty. John, scooter is a reasonable option instead of buying a car. There's a heap of motorbikes around.
Yeah.
One observation is that they're all underpowered though. So you probably need to spend more money to get a decent motorbike so you're not underpowered.
There are heaps of people on motorbikes. It's quite scary driving. Like, they do so many things that you can't do in New Zealand. They just go, you've got double lanes and these guys just go straight up the middle, or they go on the other side where they shouldn't be going and things. But and they seem to be overtaking when you're wanting to turn left, and they and
classic do not do on a motorbike is all fair game here. When you're driving a car, you got to be careful because motorbikes will come up beside you, and of course you don't want to clean them up when you're switching lanes or anything like that.
And it's not just one person or two people on the motorbike or scooter. There's family and containers and gas bottles and what have you. So it's reminds me of Bali. Actually, if anyone's been to Bali,
it's not that extreme, but yes. Ryan, sounds like we picked a good time to show up.
You did.
In terms of climatization, it's a great time.
It is the wet season though, Ryan. So there's definitely more bugs around compared to what there is in the dry season, and
pick a rain
jacket.
The
rain.
Loop. Is there degrees warmer here now than in San Salvador? Definitely. I think we would say that It's definitely warmer down by the beach. Like we'll go up to San Salvador and we're like, man, this is a piece of cake. This is easy.
I've even put on jeans and gone up,
Yep.
you know, which, and I never, you know, down here, you just wouldn't do it. So, there's definitely a temperature drop. And even when we're going up to Santana volcano, you know, I'll take my fine merinos to go up, just as an extra precaution. Yeah.
So Ed says that we should get a dog or a cat so that we can go to the Chivo Pets Hospital and pay with Bitcoin.
Apparently, they're really busy, and it is quite hard to book your pets to go in. That's what I've heard.
We don't want a pet because it will. It becomes a responsibility that hampers our ability to go and do things.
Yeah.
But if we could train a squirrel, that was my number one priority.
Yeah. And I wanted to train some birds. So
But we have heard good things about the Chivo Pet Hospital, which is really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan, what about pedal bikes? If we're in El Zonte, is it possible to get basic groceries on things like a pedal bike?
What happens in a lot of the areas is there are trucks that come around with the fruit and veggies. So you will find that in El Zonte there's a couple of tenders, and there's also the vegetable truck. So you can buy your produce from that and basic stuff, but really you're going to, you know, for your big ticket or, you know, your main food stuff, you really need to get into a supermarket. Or what we do is we have joined PriceSmart, which is like a Costco, and so we go up every fortnight and maybe do a bulk shop, maybe not even that often, and do a bulk shop of our staple, like our rice, our oats, our bread,
tins of bits and pieces.
And so we will do that, and then we go to the Mercados, which is in La Libertad, which is still where we are. It's about a 10K, maybe not
too far. No. So we
go and get all our fruit and veggies from there.
So what we're trying to do is go to San Salvador once every 2 weeks if we can. That's our plan at the moment, because we were going 2 times a week, which was a bit much. So we go there once every 2 weeks to do a bulk shop of long-term storage goods and anything else random that we want. Like we've got a whole heap of things, like living things, like glasses and other bits and pieces that we'd like to get. Then every week we go to the fruit and veggie market here, which is 7-minute drive down the road. But from El Zonte, it's like a 30-minute drive.
It's a lot longer.
And one of the things that I'd possibly recommend is teaming up with a couple of other foreign locals in El Zonte who want to go to San Salvador and carpool with them. Make it a much,
because by yourself it's a long drive.
It's a long drive.
It's it's such a relief now. We don't have to go up. We were going up there twice a week, and it was tiring. And I mean, I haven't been up there. Well, partly because I was sick when we did our last grocery shop and you had to go up by yourself. But I haven't been up there for, I don't know, three, maybe 4 weeks now. It's I love it. I really do. It's really, really cool. So,
so that's all good. Shopping, the Super Selectos, I would have imagined the Super Selectos down here in La Libertad would have been better than it is. It's not great.
No.
It does the job, but...
it's quite limited.
We try not to shop there much.
So we've had someone, Melendez from Santa Tecla, and they don't recommend motorbikes. It can be dangerous, and as we said, it's quite scary when you do see them.
So in regards to motorbikes, like I've seen touring motorbikes out and about. Which is like, if you're going to tour the country on a motorbike, cool. If you're going to live on a motorbike, be really, really careful.
We met some people one time down in El Zonte, and they had just done a huge big tour on a motorbike. So it's bit. And thank you, Jose. The comment is, I look great and in good shape. Yeah, it's quite amazing because I'm going through a little complex at the moment, and I think it's just because all of a sudden, all the things I did in New Zealand, like I would bike to work. I had my wing foil. I was on the water all the time. I had my paddle board. We were dancing. We walked every single morning, and so I kept in good shape. And then like it's been 5 months, and I'm like, we're not even well. Wow. Lately, since being in this new condominium, we haven't been walking as much. At least the place, we had this huge big hill, and so I'm not getting on my wing board or anything like that. So I've been feeling quite blah. So I've just started a 90-day challenge, and I've done 5 days of my 90-day challenge. So I've got 85 days to go. So I'm excited.
Yeah. So one of the really good things we like about where we're living at the moment is there is a community pool, there's a community gym. Yeah. And we're taking advantage of those things. We're making the most of them. So getting back into the gym and making it a regular thing is important for us because mental and physical health is big.
And you see, we are upstairs in the office quite a lot, and when you're not walking, you're not actually going to your office to work or things. You get up and you walk upstairs to the office. It's all of a sudden you go, oh wow, I'm not actually moving my body much, and so it's really good. And the beach is just there, like
we should be there.
And so I'm now walking the beach every morning, which is good. So I go and do that while James gets stuck in and does his calls that he needs to do in that hour of the morning. And
I do some other good stuff.
Yeah, and then we do the gym in the afternoon.
Johnny E, any scuba diving around? So yes, there is scuba diving. There is sea diving and lake diving. If you're experienced, then yes.
There is a marine park somewhere which I haven't been able to find yet. Too. And I think it's sort of up towards Guatemala, and that would be really interesting to have a look. There is, because we've got turtles here and things, so it would be amazing to go and have a look and sort of see. Not that I scuba dive now anymore, but definitely snorkel.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be amazing to have a look.
Thank you for listening to our account and content. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cask, Salvadoran Kiwis, how are you? We're great,
good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, we've just had a couple of weeks of some bad health, but we're up and over that, which is great.
Yeah.
And Ryan, would you guys like anything from Canada? Thank you. We'll
think about that one. We might send you a message.
It's like during the days, sometimes we'll be like, oh man, this would be really handy, this would be cool.
And just to let you know, Ryan is looking at moving down here, so they're selling up and doing exactly what we've done, and they're coming in a week's time. And Ryan, seriously, your bags are going to be chock-a-block. Yep. You might not have room to bring stuff down for us, because I know what it was like. Well, we know what it was like when we moved here. We were the night before, we were going, oh, we can't take this, or we can't take that, because our bags were too heavy. We were so
at the airport, we were actually dropping weight because we were overweight.
Yeah. So
or if you stop in Guatemala and you see my stainless steel water bottle, that'd be great.
Hey, congratulations, Ryan. So Ryan's just let us know that they're getting married tomorrow. So that's really cool.
What?
And then they fly, and then they move to El Salvador a week later. Whoa. How cool is that?
Whoa,
that is so cool. Yeah.
That's crazy. Congratulations.
Wolf has just said, have we tried Noah's? Anonymous? What are anonymous? So,
don't know
we've got these, but they're not anonymous. So I'm going to open one so people can see. Like, the tropical fruit here is amazing. It's just everything is something coming from New Zealand. We have the basics: apples, kiwi fruit, banana. Oh no, we don't have bananas. Pears, mandarins, citrus.
Yeah.
This is like a hard, round green thing, and it comes obviously, as you can see, in a bunch of things.
It's a very thick skin.
And it's very thick skin. So
it's a hard skin.
Breaking it with my nail, and it's very. Then when you open it,
show the camera. Yeah.
It's like this soft, gooey thing in the middle.
Yeah, it's like 80% seed.
Yeah, and so pop it in. The thing is, you bite down and you get the majority of its seed, and then you just get this kind of slush. But they're really tasty. The only problem is they then stick into your teeth.
Yep. Melendez, what can you guys tell us about the price of Bitcoin? I'm going to tell you what I said earlier, just dollar cost average. I'm not here to gamble on the price of Bitcoin. I'm here for what Bitcoin represents. So for me, it's not about what the price of Bitcoin is, but one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. I'm here to be part of the transition of a world where we use a currency which is fair to the people versus fair to the few. It's a fruit. Yeah, I feel like we've seen it and maybe tried it, but I can't remember what it is.
I'm gonna have to Google search it.
We've tried a lot of weird fruit for us. Raul, I'm proud of you guys for loving my country. Yes, thank you. It's like for us, Central and South America are just a big new adventure for us in terms of culture, in terms of the climate, all of those things. It's crazy. It's a great adventure. Anon.
Yeah, no, I've just taken I've just done a screenshot. No, these haven't come into season yet for us, so they look amazing. And that we have got some around here. It looks like a custard apple. Looking at that.
Yep.
Yeah. So we haven't had. Yeah, they're not in season yet. They are growing.
Yeah. John E. Are there meetups to learn more about Bitcoin? Yes. There's so many meetups here. Like it's like a sport. It's a full-time job, basically. There's something every week. There's multiple. I haven't been to enough of them, so I went to ashamedly. I went to my first one, which was at Bitcoin Beach, which is also a good thing. Like I went to a Bitcoin Beach wallet sponsored meetup at Bitcoin Beach, but it was like 5 months after we arrived. But that's just because we've been so busy and focused on setting up. As we're people who come here as a tourist to, they're going home again.
Yeah.
They'll come down here and they'll go to a Bitcoin meetup several times a week, all over the place, down here on the beach, up in San Salvador. And they network really heavily because there's so many people going to them all the time. Because that's what a lot of foreigners are here for. They're here to talk Bitcoin, meet about Bitcoin and everything. So there's a lot to learn. There's also a lot of businesses setting up which are training people and sharing information. The best education you're going to have is to actually use it.
It's a fun experience, and to get into the habit of asking. And it is about just because a lot of store holders or shops don't necessarily use it yet or accept it, and it's just educating those people and talking to those people and to actually start getting them involved. And it's really fun sort of getting that, being involved in their first acceptance payment of it too, which is quite neat.
Wolf, my dad moved from the US to El Salvador, has been there for 15 years, and I'd love to visit. Now is probably the best time to visit. If he's been here for 15 years, then he's most likely experienced all sorts of crazy things in the past that I can't imagine. And now is, I would say, from my limited experience, a great time to visit because it's safe and it's positive.
Atuna or Caesar, thank you. It's nice that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on your show. We really appreciate it.
We really enjoyed it.
We've shouted you out at the start as well because we want people to watch the episode. We thought it was good. We thought it was great.
We enjoyed it.
Raul, am planning to buy a Bitcoin. Thanks to you guys. Great job. Just start small. Don't go crazy. Start small. Best thing to do, download the Bitcoin Beach wallet, learn how to load it, do a transaction with somebody. Easy.
We've done a couple of small YouTubes on it too, just to give you some basic information on the Bitcoin wallet. So if you want to go and have a look at that, definitely do that.
And we need to do more videos on it. It's just we've been busy with other bits and pieces.
Oscar, El Salvador is beautiful. It certainly is, and we do enjoy every moment, except when we're sick, but we do. So and safety is priority. It's been really interesting. I think wherever we go, we feel safe, and I'm sure there are places where we shouldn't, that we wouldn't feel safe, but we wouldn't go there. So we go to the places that we're comfortable being in, and we and we enjoy going to. So I think for anyone who's looking at coming, it's like there's been recently a lot of people on the Facebook page, on the expat Facebook page, and on and asking us questions. My wife's not comfortable, or we've got blonde-haired children. Seriously, it's all about being smart too. You've got to be aware anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world, even in New Zealand.
Even in New Zealand,
Yep.
You could come across some kind of danger, but you just don't go to those areas. And it's the same as here.
Yep. The gangs are generally local focused. They're not focused on tourists.
Yeah.
Tourists are generally left alone because they know that they're income for the country. So it's important, and you don't want to kill your golden goose. And that sounds bad, but it's also a reality.
So we've got now, who is it? Oh, Ryan, you was talking about your father's watching and they're thinking of retiring down there. Okay, utility costs with AC, internet and water. Electricity down here is expensive. Water we're not finding that expensive. We pay about it's only the two of us, we pay about $8 a month for water.
That's our highest bill so
far. Internet we're paying $35.
$30 a month.
Yeah, and we got
reasonable.
Really good. Yeah, good coverage.
Max you'll pay for internet is $60 a month, and it's great.
Yeah, but when we're downloading, we're doing video calls, multiple video calls at the same time. We don't have a problem with it. When you're looking at the power, with two of us, we've got two ACs, but we only use one up in the office when we need to. But we've actually started opening the windows.
We're trying to use it less for our health, not to save electricity.
No,
but we have there's 3 ceiling fans and a portable fan which we run all the time. We have a fridge, no pool pump here, and we run the aircon a little bit. We're not sleeping with it. Some people sleep with it. We're spending anywhere between 100. Worst case would be 150, but our worst bill is 137.
Yeah, and we have. Not that I don't think they take much electricity, but we have 3 fans, if not 4, going constantly, 24/7. We've got 3 fans 24/7, and then we have another one we have during the day.
And mosquito repeller things.
Oh yeah, mosquito repeller things. Yeah, too. So it's relative, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're going to do.
Yeah.
One thing I would really like to get a bigger freezer so we can put some more things in it, food and ice for some other things, and that would cost extra to run.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Bukele is talking about a geothermal plant. We know he's definitely got a hydro plant he would like online by the end of the year. And all of that is in the attempt to do 2 things. One is bring the cost of electricity down for his people because he knows it's relatively expensive. Or 3 things, increase the reliability of the grid. And 4, he wants to attract Bitcoin miners. But of course, Bitcoin miners aren't going to be attracted unless the cost of electricity comes down. So he knows that he's got to put in more capacity to bring that down.
Yeah.
So hopefully that is a very legitimate thing that he can bring down for the cost of the people of El Salvador.
Jose, you've got then I bought in New York and they charged me 7%. Is that okay? Talking about buying Bitcoin.
Yep.
Okay, so
you just got to be careful where you buy. New York is definitely not Bitcoin friendly. If you can buy, even here in El Salvador, if you buy in the wrong place, you'll get charged a lot. There's all sorts of things about that.
Yeah. And then what kind of business do we operate down here? Okay, so we have set up a business and it was mainly for our residency. But at the moment, because we both contract to places, like I still contract back to New Zealand, and James has companies around the world that he contracts to. So what we have done is we've actually just set it up so we're now... so our business is all involved in our contracting work that we do. The
short answer is we do generic web work. So I've had a couple of people on Twitter actually, because one of the key points is being able to work remotely. And if you're looking for a job to work remotely, I would highly recommend learning a marketing skill. And there's a number of really good books out there which can quickly bring you up to speed on things such as email marketing, writing copy for websites, and bits and pieces like that. And that will allow you to build a remote job that brings value, especially if you can demonstrate results for people. That would be the number one skill I would recommend people learn to build a remote income. And then I use a service called Bitwage, which is allowing me to be paid internationally and receive it as Bitcoin. And when I receive it as Bitcoin in El Salvador, I pay no tax on it. And then I can spend it without any tax, and I can withdraw it from a Chivo ATM without any tax.
Yep. Ryan's dad, Ed. So healthcare quality.
We don't know exactly. We've heard some horror stories, and we've heard okay stories.
When COVID hit and Bukele locked down El Salvador, his main concern or reasoning for this is because the healthcare system was not really here. Like the hospitals were in no state to take people. They had no ventilators and things. So what he did was he built a couple of brand new hospitals, or definitely one brand new hospital, and know that. And so yes, and his wife is really focused in the maternity care and creating a far better place there for that as well. So definitely there has been some changes. We haven't yet needed to use those services, touch wood, and hope we don't need to. We have still under our 1 year. We've taken out health and travel insurance for 1 year. So we're still under that. We have talked to the insurance guy in regards to when we insured our car, to, saying we're going to need healthcare. As soon as you turn, I think it's 56 years old, you actually have to go through a medical before they will insure you. And then we didn't actually start talking specifics on how much it was going to cost us, but it is something that we're going to need to do before our year is up, to have some form of cover. In New Zealand, it's quite funny because health insurance is one of those things it's a bit like when you insure your car. Like, you don't insure it for your warranted fitnesses, so like going to the doctor for your bits and pieces, but you insure it for your big things. And it's a bit like healthcare. So you insure your health for your big major emergencies. So again, it's a matter of us sitting down and going through that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would say you definitely want health insurance of some degree here. I would, from what I've heard, I would not want to rely on the public system.
No.
Especially if coming from the West. Your expectation and the reality of what you will experience here in the public system is not good.
And I think, with me falling ill the other day, it was very much a lot to do with also our immune system is quite different. We aren't exposed to a lot of the bugs that, you are exposed to in a third world. And I think that, when it hit me hard, I think it had a lot to do with the fact that, my immune system isn't like that. The same. And so, we've got to build it up. We've got to expose ourselves to the bugs and things to build our immune system up so we can cope with all these things.
Yep. And it takes time.
Yeah.
We met a couple that have been here for 7 years this week, and 4 and 7 years. Yeah. And one of the things that they said was that they were using an eco filter like us, and they were getting sick regularly, and they weren't sure what it was. And then someone told them, stop using your eco filter and only drink the filtered bottled water. They did that, and they came right. And their system just never built. Only one of them was sick from drinking this water, but their gut system obviously never built up a tolerance to the bugs that were in the water, as where the other person did. And it's just, you don't know what's going to be okay. Like, if you're born in a country, you probably have the bacteria that you need, but if you're introduced like us, you're going to find things that take you out once, and that'll be it, and sometimes consistently. But definitely. Everyone's different.
Hey, we're nearly up at our hour, so please, if you've got any questions you'd really desperately like to ask us, type them in so we can answer them before our hour is done.
Otherwise, might as well push. We've actually gone and put together an ebook. And we're offering an ebook and a video call. So if you know anybody who wants to have a one-on-one call with us, we're now offering that through our website.
And with our ebooks pretty much done. We're just making a couple of little sort of changes. And
there's always updates.
Updates. And it's just really about all the things that we've gone and done over the last 4.5 months of being here, and it's things we would do differently, and so it is ways of saving money for anyone looking at moving down, and just a where to guide of where's this, how's this, how does this happen, and so we've put it all together. It's pretty much ready to go, so which is really, really cool.
It's like our first 5 months are basically in this book and tens of thousands of dollars of experience. And we did it the hard way. I would not say we did it the easy way.
We're typical Kiwis, where we're going, we can do this, we're doing it our way. And it's, definitely there are other ways you can do it. But what we've learned, we've now put into our ebook. And so it will save you some good time. And money in doing that.
Fran Combat, that's a really hard question. So Fran Combat would love to come down to El Salvador, and his partner, his girlfriend, is maybe not as convinced as he is. And this comes down to life priorities for both of you. And you got to, I guess both of you need to have the hard question conversation, which is what's important for you. But
with James and I, it was very much, and I know Canada and what's happened in Canada has been really extreme in regards to the pandemic and what the government has done. Now, New Zealand was also pretty extreme. Both James and I are very aligned in our belief here, and it was so important for us to find a place that we could live our life, and that was, number one priority. James being in Bitcoin a lot longer than I wasn't in Bitcoin until I met James. He also had Bitcoin first country in the world, El Salvador first country in the world to adopt Bitcoin. So he had the other pull as well. And so, that was pretty big.
Yeah. So what can you say to her? I mean, I wouldn't try and convince, I don't know, personally, I wouldn't try and convince Nicki of anything. I was lucky that Nicki aligned with the values, which was I was going to choose how I looked after my body, and I wasn't going to be told otherwise. And then Bitcoin was a beacon for me because it the freedom, the morals behind Bitcoin were important. And if El Salvador had not dropped the COVID mandates, I wouldn't have come. It just wouldn't have happened. But when they dropped all the COVID mandates, our life had become difficult in New Zealand because of those things. And that's why we both aligned and said, well, what are we doing here? And why don't we go on an adventure?
And I mean, we've left family and friends behind. We've sold everything. We've left one house there, and it's pretty flippin' scary. It's real scary. Emotional. It's hard. But when we've got the two of us, so we every day we sort of wake up and go, my God, look where we are.
The stories we can tell from doing this are way better than the stories we tell from staying in New Zealand.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately in New Zealand, it depends on where you are in life. Some people are quite happy doing what they're doing every day, but at the same time we were like, well, a lot of people in New Zealand aren't interested in the things we're interested in, and we really coming here, we found birds of a feather. So the next question that someone's actually asked is how many foreigners are here in El Salvador right now, and how often do you see other long-term expats? And if we go out and about a lot, there's a lot of Bitcoiners here. There's a lot of foreigners who have been here before Bitcoin. And the more we go around and the more we talk to people, the more we find. And if you're a social person, you will find them really quickly. There's a lot of them here. It's amazing. So, and that comes down, I'm just going to go back to Fran Combat's point, is that there is a community of like-minded people here. But if you and your girlfriend aren't aligned, that's going to make it hard. I'm just being real and honest there with that. And you both have to decide what's best for you guys individually in life.
Yeah.
as well.
And there's something you were mentioning about people. I can't remember. That's right. I will.
Julio, thank you for pushing the like button. If you have any friends who want to subscribe, please do, and watch our videos because we need the watch hours.
Absolutely. And I mean, we're halfway there. It's so exciting. I was like dancing today, kind of in this little quiet little space.
Yeah.
Because we finally hit over 2,000 video hour watch, which is really cool.
So Fran Combat, yeah, I mean, if you're down here in January, say hi. Yeah. We meet people who have come down all the time. Yeah. Like this weekend, we're meeting 2 different groups of people, and next weekend, we'll be meeting Ryan, who's and his new wife.
Yeah.
I was a hard no on going to El Salvador for 13 years. Now we're about to close on buying a home there to live half time. Cannot wait. Thanks for the inspiration. Catherine, right. So El Salvador has changed in the last couple of years versus the last 13 years and I can't speak from experience. I'm only speaking from what people have told us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've come here and it's not a problem at the moment. I don't know what's going to happen in the future in terms of governments and safety, but yeah, I mean, things have changed. Jose, the biggest trend for El Salvador security comes from the north when the big brother have a handover and the little brother So politics are going to play a huge role in the safety here, and we're aware of that, and that is the dice that we're willing to roll.
Very interesting though. We did sort of meet up the other day with somebody who's been here for 7 years, and they sort of got ins in all parts of El Salvador. And one of the things the comment that they made is, as a foreigner, when was the last time a foreigner was injured or killed in El Salvador? It was a long time ago. And due to the reason for this is we actually, for the gangs and things like that, we, not necessarily us in person, but we do help with their economy. I mean, we help them in that way, but I'm talking about the cocaine buyers, et cetera, et cetera. So we don't, it's not our gig, but there are, and so the gangs, they do not want to harm
the golden goose that lays the egg,
if that makes sense. So it's in that sense. Foreigners, you've got definitely the beach areas are very much a foreign bubble, or they're a bubble where you are protected. And
protected.
Protected. I know, but it's hard to explain.
Wolf, I live in California, and wife and I are thinking about buying land near the beach or high altitude. That will come down to your lifestyle preferences. It is definitely cooler the higher you go, and there are some amazing places up in the mountains, and also along the beach. There's huge diversity, there's opportunity. The main thing that we've noticed is the further you go from the main center, the more remote, like it gets remote quite quickly, and having access to just simple things like supermarkets, you want to be mentally and physically prepared to be able to travel regularly. And
it all also depends if you need internet too. So, definitely the more further away from the cities and the more remote, the internet may not be as good as what it is. Yeah. So.
Yep. We've got the Espectacular. I am from La Libertad, El Salvador. Yay, the city of freedom from the savior.
Yeah, that's where we are. We are also down in La Libertad.
Yep. Now I live in Central Florida. Happy to see you guys happy in El Salvador. Thank you. It's funny. It's funny how people because we see the debates that happen and people talking about the people trying to leave El Salvador because their living standards low, and I get that. I totally get that. And then you get people like us who are coming from richer nations to a lower living standard, and there's reasons for both directions.
Yeah,
there's no right or wrong there. It's life circumstances for everybody.
And it would be good to, and we're not going to go into now because we're well and truly over our hour, but, just talking about some of the hard things coming into El Salvador from a Western world coming here. There's a lot, or not a lot, but there are things that you do all of a sudden, you're not aware, you weren't aware of, and you wouldn't think would be happening when then you're here and you're going, and a lot of it's, things like sewage and toilet paper and all those bits and, little things, but they're quite big. Which we're not even going to go into now, but
we?
we're not going to go into now. So
Spanish language schools. Yeah, there's lots of different degrees. There's online, there's in person. We just heard about someone who we want to talk to about actually taking us in, like they take you to the market to do the immersion.
I mean, we do pretty well at the Mercados now. We get by. We
get by.
Quanta question, how much? We know our numbers. We can do basic stuff, but not really have many conversations.
Wolf, news on the Bitcoin bonds. I would follow Max and Stacey Kaiser. They will be the top people for that information. But I would say Bukele is working very hard to try and get his legislation out before the end of the year. But he's got deadlines and goals that he needs to hit for a number of reasons, political reasons and economic reasons. So I think we'll see something soon. But follow Max and Stacey for that.
See you, Ryan. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Crazy.
And have a wonderful wedding.
Yes. So, oh yeah, man, that's crazy. An amazing wedding. Yeah.
Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Keep an eye out for our ebook. If any of you are interested in moving down, we've got, as I said, huge amounts of information in there. It was quite amazing how, detailed we've put in and what we've done there. So keep your eye out for that. And we will see you in a month's time.
No, less than a month's time.
We'll do 2 weeks.
We're going to bring the next one closer so we can.
It'll be a 6 month.
Yeah, because we've got 6 months coming up.
Yeah, we have.
It's half a year.
My God, that's amazing. Crazy, That's really exciting.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody who's come and watched and commented and asked questions.
Okay. See ya.
Have a great weekend.